Hey everybody, and welcome to my shop. Today I have good news, but I also have bad news.
Was mache ich hier eigentlich? Ey, es wird alles immer schlimmer.
The good news is the flight cases that I bought last week, those that were actually a former mobile espionage defense unit, they are perfect. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please check out this video because it is very surprising what you can find on eBay.
Ey, ohne Scheiß. Das ist das Geilste, was ich je gekauft habe. Ich brauche Untertitel dann.
The bad news is, coming up with a new storage system is only about 30% of the job. And that's the fun part. The other 70% is dealing with your old systems and making room for the new system. And this is what I have always been doing wrong, because up until this point, whenever I needed a new system for something, I would just add to all the other systems that I had, which means that this will end up in a complete mess and is very, very hard to keep an overview of all the different systems you have. So now I'm going to end this. I will clean up my shop properly, and then I will introduce a new storage system that has the best of all my old systems. It's a big job, but it has to be done. It's like a turtle that grows to the size of the aquarium. My mess grew to the size of my shop. It is way too big and it's out of control. Just cleaning out the old boxes and making room for the new system took me a whole week. But all this time and all this work was a very good investment, because now I came up with a new system that is based on three things: storage, obviously, utility, and mobility. Let me explain. Let's talk about storage. Generally, I want the drawers to be self-explanatory. I hope that's the right word. So I want it to be easy to identify where the tools go, but I don't want to be so specific that if I ever exchange a tool, I would also have to exchange the whole inlet. For example, my sanders. It's very possible that I might switch out a sander, maybe for a battery operated one, but I probably will not switch the size of the sanding pad. So if I have a 150 sander that's now corded and Festo comes out with a battery version, I will have the same footprint and I can probably just easily exchange the machines without having to exchange the whole inlet. And that is the idea behind the whole storage solutions. For every object, I try to find the smallest common denominator. Another example would be the sanding pads. Instead of using a whole lot of material and then cut out the footprint, I only use this little pin in the middle that holds all the pads in place. And I try to find solutions for each and every drawer, for each and every object, without going overboard, without being too specific. I try to keep it as minimalistic as possible. Another big issue was grouping the tools together in a way that it makes sense. So I tried to build little families. For example, the angle grinders sit below the files. They're both abrasive, so they should go together. Obviously, the sanders are next to the pads, but the sanders are also next to the routers. So I try to build these little families so I don't have to look for stuff, and it's kind of intuitive, hopefully. I can talk about that more in the future, but I think this is a good system. Definitely that took the longest, just organizing the boxes and deciding what lives next to what. Now the second point is utility, and this is the biggest game changer, because so far I was only thinking about storage in terms of storing and keeping my stuff safe. But now that I have these crazy boxes that are also equipped with some electricity and these insanely well-built drawers, I think it absolutely makes sense not only to store the tools, but also to enable them. And that means building more power outlets wherever I need them, activating the power supplies that some of the drawers have. So, for example, my chargers, they're not only stored and kept safe and also out of sight because I don't want to see all these cables, they're also charging at all times. Or the micromotor, it is kept safe, it is in a very nice drawer that I can slide out and get to work right away. It is always powered, so there's no cable management. Everything is ready to go at all times, and that is so good. And how much easier it will be to actually use the tools that you need, because you don't have to get them out of a box, you don't have to deal with the cables, you don't have to find an extension cord. It is all just there and ready to go whenever I need it. And to top this, all of this stuff is mobile. Mobility is the last feature that will make this into a storage dream, because not only do I have all my tools in order and powered and ready to go at all times, I can also take the towers with me, power them with a power bank and use them wherever I go. So instead of bringing my work to the tools, I can now bring my tools to the job site. And that's another reason why it was so important to order them correctly. But at the end of the day, these are still like towers of how many boxes? 3 boxes that can rearrange. They are not screwed together. If I find along the way that the routers should go with the angle grinders, then I can rearrange the stacks or take with me whatever I need. I can build a 6 case high tower and get it to a job site if I need to. And that is incredible. Everybody who works with tools, everybody who has a shop or works in a shop or dreams about having a shop will know how much of a difference this system is going to make. Work will be so much easier. And I think that's what it's all about. You know, not only treating yourself with making your life and your job easier, but also appreciating your tools and your shop and trying to make it as good as possible always makes me happy, and it feels like it sounds weird, but it feels like I'm giving back to the shop. Because the shop allows me to do all these things, allows me to, you know, build all the stuff that I dream up. And then if I have a chance to spend 2 weeks cleaning it up, trying to come up with new systems, I feel like I'm doing the building a little bit of a favor, and that makes me feel good. All right, anyways, I want to thank you for watching. You will see more of this storage in the future videos. I will use the hell out of it. I'm sure it will come in very, very handy. But for now, I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you next week with a new video, and I'm going to play with my boxes now. That was a weird clap. That was better.